joining us. I don't know if this is going to get that widespread. Welcome to Concept 2. While editing Concept 1, I noticed it was hard to kind of see what was going on here, so I moved it a little bit forward, a little bit more up. Hopefully that dynamic helps you guys visualize what's going on here. What we got here is actually a pretty good lab, and the main part of the investigation is what are the factors that can affect how quickly sugar can dissolve. And so there's actually 3 separate investigations in here. And so this might be good to maybe break it up into groups. Each group does their investigation and then you rotate or they present the results. You will have to, it's just because you'll have to wash and reuse some of these. Now, the problem with doing some of that is some of these require 10 minutes, some require only a minute and 5 minutes. So your timings are a bit different. So you could break this up however you want, but just kind of think through that. You've got 3 separate parts. So how do you want that to be structured to make sure that you're organized through that? So I am going to quickly walk through the 3 different sections with you guys. The first one, you're gonna have 3 of these guys filled with the same amount of water. I think for most of the sections it says to do 50 mils, which if you got a 100 mil little beaker, that's just a little bit. So for the first one, we're going to be dissolving sugar cubes. And I don't think I need tweezers to pick them up, but 1 will be left whole. 1 you want to try to cut in half, and the other one it suggests crushing it. I would suggest go ahead and trying to crush the 1 cube as opposed to just grabbing granulated sugar, because you want to make sure you have the same amount of sugar in each one. So I grabbed a dissection knife, and we'll see if that cuts this guy evenly. Ooh, it did not. I think these are a bit stale, so definitely make sure that you have fresh sugar cubes. Mine seem to be pretty crystallized. But you'll have that. You'll have 1 whole, 1 half, 1 crushed, and you put them all into those beakers at the same time, and then you leave it. You want to have students running a timer, and they're going to check on it every 2 minutes. Obviously, hopefully what students should see is the crushed up sugar dissolves a lot faster. Okay, so then once they've got that data collected, then they move on to the second one. You're going to have 2 beakers this time. So again, students would have to dump, rinse, refill those beakers. And now this one is just 2 sugar cubes dropped into 50 milliliters of water. 1 is going to be left alone while students stir the other. And it wants them to count how much they stir. So I would have them count 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they're only doing this for a minute, so just tell them don't stir fast, and they can count how many stirs that they did. All right, and then when we get to the third one, we're back to 2 beakers, but one's gonna be with hot water. So either have some hot tap water or get yourself a hot plate, so that way you can heat up some water. And then this one, you're just gonna drop in 2 cubes. 2 cubes, 1 in the cooler water, 1 in the hotter water. You leave it for about 5 minutes, and hopefully students will see that the hotter water is able to pick up more of that sugar than the other. And then they're just writing down their observations. This one you will need a thermometer so they can record the starting and ending temperatures, so grab 2 of these guys from your kit. And then it's just a lot of reflection questions. What factors affected it? Which ones affected it more than others? So students can start to fill those out based off of those. So I would say the materials for this are pretty easy. If there isn't sugar cubes in your kit, Walmart, super cheap, really easy. And the rest of the stuff is pretty straightforward. So I think this is a very doable, pretty cool lab. You just gotta think about, okay, there's 3 parts to this. They all have different timings. How do we wanna structure that to be organized? And that's the part that you'd have to think through. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.